Alright, so hopefully a very quick and easy repair here. I have a Hantarex Polo that was repaired and working, yet, I got a complete Hantarex Polo here that was repaired and working, and then when it was sent back to the owner, they accidentally hooked up the DAG ground, or the ground wire that comes off of the picture tube that goes around that you're supposed to connect to right here on the neck board. There's a little spade connector here. That's where you hook your tube ground to, right there. But somebody, whoever got this and hooked it up, accidentally hooked up that ground to this test point, TP, what is that? No, it's not a test point, it's J117. I'm sorry. So this little connector here, they hooked up the tube ground or the DAG ground to this connector, J117, by accident, instead of hooking it to where it's supposed to go on the neck board. Now that damaged the chassis. So we're trying to figure out what exactly happened when that occurred. So the first thing that I did was try to test the power supply because it's ticking. It goes tick, 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 tick. And that's not an HOT because the HOT, when it's shorted, it goes tick, 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 tick. So when it's going tick, 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 that's the sound of the power supply trying to energize and failing, and then energize and failing. So we're going to do the light bulb test, and I'll show you here. So for the Hantarex Polo, there's a test point 6 right here. Let me zoom in. Right here, TP6. What you do is lift that leg of this jumper out of the circuit, and that removes the B+ from the power supply, or I should say the output. The output of the power supply isolates that from the rest of the chassis. So you lift that leg out of the chassis, and then you can take a alligator clip here and clip onto it, and then we can plug in the chassis and power it up without having to have a picture tube. So then you can take your light bulb and touch the frame and then touch the sensor, and it should light up if it's a functioning power supply. So for instance, let's turn this on here. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you can hear that. Tick, tick, tick. It's very faint. Anyway, so this is a visual illustration of what's happening, so check this out. Tick, 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 tick. So we have a faulty power supply. Apparently, whenever that ground wire was attached to this J117, it damaged something in the power supply. So I'm almost sure that it's the switch mode power supply chip right here. So I'll see if I got one of those, and we'll throw a new one in and see if we can get this thing back to working. I gotta go through my parts stash and see if I can find one, so hold on one moment. Well, I made a mistake. I forgot to hit the record button on my camera, and I lost a lot of footage. So for some reason I forgot to hit the button, or maybe I did and it didn't work, I don't know, but I went back to look at the footage and I didn't have any of the footage of me changing out the switch mode power supply chip, troubleshooting, any of that stuff. So I'm going to insert some pictures that I took. Fortunately, I took pictures because what I found needed to be documented. So I have pictures and I'll insert them here in a moment, but let's go over what I did. So I changed out the switch mode power supply chip that was in here. I have the case back on here and at the moment, I'm sorry. But I changed out the switch mode power supply chip with a known good one. It didn't fix anything. It still was doing the slow ticking, light bulb would flash, and all that jazz. So I knew it was a power supply problem at that point, and I went through looking at everything that had been done because this was previously rebuilt or worked on by a very reputable person. So the full backstory of this is that this was shipped to somebody and they couldn't fix it. So they took it to somebody local to them, and that person repaired it, gave it back to the person that tried to fix it originally, and that person sent it back to the owner. On that shipment back to the original owner, the chassis got damaged in shipping. So I'm going to show you the pictures of what I found, but before I do, actually, I actually have this back together from testing. Let me pop this off real quick and then we can look, because it's very interesting. I don't have any idea how this could have even possibly occurred, because this case would prevent from happening what you're about to see. Oh, I gotta twist the tabs here. I gotta take this off. And we gotta twist these tabs here. Technically this doesn't need to come off. I'm gonna take it off anyway. Okay, so if we look underneath here, we have this transformer, and right here on this transformer, it was cracked. It was cracked across here. 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 It was cracked across here, and it was cracked across here. And I don't even know if you can still see some of the crack. Yeah, right here's a crack. So it was cracked from this point all across here, and then it was cracked all the way through over across here. So I had to repair. You may even still be able to see some of the, well, nope. Right. It's cracked across here. Right there's a little part of the crack. It goes all the way across here, up all the way to this corner. If we turn it over, you can see it a little bit better right here, right there. So somehow this thing was damaged in shipping. I have no idea. It turns out that my hypothesis of the neck ground being hooked up to J117 was just a red herring, because it never even powered up. It never even powered up. It got past the power supply section. If this was working and that happened, I don't even know what could have occurred or got damaged, but that was a red herring because it never even powered up. This got hit somehow and just cracked the board. And I don't understand how that could be, because normally this thing is covering that unless it got hit from the back or something. I don't know, but in this case, that was the problem. I repaired those cracks. Oh, this stupid remote board always falls over. I repaired the cracks and it fired right up. So I'm gonna post the pictures of the before and after for this. We'll get this back together. I'll get it on a tube and we'll show it in action. But that was the only problem with this, was those traces were cracked from this getting impacted somehow. After getting that repaired, it fired right up, got it adjusted, and it looks great. So let's show the pictures, and then when I come back after the pictures, I'll have it on a tube and we'll turn it on. You can see how well it looks. All right, so we're all hooked back up on the dedicated tube that this came with originally from the factory. We got our anode, neck, yoke, ground, power, video remote ready to go. And we have our meter set up to read B+. Now on the Hantarex Polo, B+ should read 138. 138, you know, if you don't get it exactly, 137.5 or, you know, 0.5 up and down. 138 is what it should be set to, and if it's not, you can adjust it through this hole right there. There's this, you can put your adjustment tool straight down through onto the pot. So I've already got all that done from previous testing before I forgot to hit record. So yeah, we should have 138 and it should work. We should have a good picture. Everything should be operational. We just had some cracks in the board. So here we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, snaps right to life, and we have, we're a little high, but once we get a different image on the screen, it should go back down to 138. And bingo. So yeah, just cracks in the board. You know, I don't know how it happened in shipping or what, but somehow, you know, that transformer got hit by something and cracked that board. But after some quick repairs, it's good to go. Very interesting. So, you know, of course I have the ground hooked up properly now, so I don't know what that would have done. I mean, because it never even powered up because of the broken traces, but it's interesting because I don't know what that would have done. But as we can see here, we have a working monitor. It looks great. So, and now see, oh, we were just down to 138.3. Yeah, 138.5. So, it, you know, your B+ will change depending on what's on the screen. But we're at 138, so close enough, good to go. And that'll be about it. So something, it took me a little bit to figure this out, but for the video, nice, quick, and easy. Something, it's nice to have a video like I can put on the channel. It doesn't it's not over an hour long. So we got some degaussing here it needs done, but it's nice to finally have a video that's not over an hour. So that's all it was, cracks in the board, and all the previous work had been done, so it saved me a lot of time and effort. So, and 138.3 now, so we're good to go. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. I know I did. This was quite an adventure off camera, so I appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. I appreciate it.